There was once a small town nestled in the mountains, where the winters were long and harsh. Every year, as the snow started to fall, the townspeople would gather together in the warmth of their homes and wait for the spring thaw. But one year, something strange happened. A mysterious figure appeared in the town, wandering the streets at night and peering into windows. Nobody knew who or what it was, but it sent shivers down the spines of everyone who saw it. At first, people tried to ignore the figure, hoping it would go away on its own. But as the weeks went by, the sightings became more frequent, and the figure seemed to grow bolder. One night, a group of brave townspeople decided to confront the figure. They armed themselves with whatever weapons they could find and set out to find it. As they crept through the dark streets, the figure suddenly appeared before them. It was a towering, shadowy creature with glowing red eyes that seemed to pierce the darkness. The townspeople attacked with all their might, but their weapons had no effect on the creature. It laughed in their faces and disappeared into the night. From that day on, the townspeople lived in fear, never knowing when the creature would return. Some say it still roams the mountains to this day, searching for its next victim. So beware, my friends, and never let your guard down when the snow starts to fall. It was a dark and stormy night when a group of friends decided to explore an abandoned hospital on the outskirts of town. The hospital had been closed down for years and was said to be haunted by the ghosts of patients who had died there. As they made their way through the dark, dusty halls, the friends heard strange noises coming from the rooms. Doors creaked open and shut on their own, and shadows seemed to move on the walls. Suddenly, they heard a blood-curdling scream coming from one of the rooms. They rushed to investigate and found a young girl huddled in the corner, shaking with fear. She told them that she had been trapped in the hospital for weeks and that something evil was stalking the halls. The friends decided to help the girl escape, but as they made their way to the exit, they realized they were being followed. A shadowy figure appeared behind them, moving closer and closer with each step. As they reached the door, the figure lunged forward and attacked. The friends fought back with all their might, but they soon realized that the figure was not human. It was a monstrous creature with razor-sharp claws and teeth like knives. The creature chased them through the hospital, its terrifying screams echoing through the halls. Just as they thought they were safe, they realized that the creature had been leading them into a trap. They were surrounded, with no way out. In a final, desperate act, the friends lit a match and set the hospital on fire. They managed to escape just in time, but as they watched the hospital burn to the ground, they knew that they had released something evil into the world. To this day, people say that the creature still roams the town, seeking out its next victims. So beware, my friends, and never underestimate the power of the supernatural.
One day, a group of hikers decided to explore the mountains surrounding the town. They had heard rumors of a hidden cave system deep in the wilderness, and they were determined to find it. As they made their way through the dense forest, the hikers noticed that the trees seemed to grow thicker and taller the deeper they went. The forest was eerily quiet, and the only sound was the crunching of leaves underfoot. Finally, after hours of hiking, they stumbled upon the entrance to the cave system. It was hidden behind a thicket of bushes, and they had to crawl through a narrow tunnel to enter. Once inside, they were amazed at the beauty of the caves. The walls were covered in sparkling crystals, and the air was cool and damp. They explored for hours, marveling at the natural wonders around them. As they made their way deeper into the cave system, they noticed that the walls started to take on a reddish tint. They assumed it was just the light playing tricks on their eyes, but the closer they got, the more they realized that the walls were covered in blood. Suddenly, they heard a strange guttural sound coming from deep within the caves. It was like nothing they had ever heard before, a mix of animalistic snarls and human screams. They tried to run, but they found that the cave system had changed. The tunnels seemed to twist and turn in impossible ways, leading them deeper and deeper into the labyrinth. As they stumbled through the caves, they saw something move in the shadows. It was a figure, barely visible in the dim light, with eyes that seemed to glow like hot coals. They tried to call out for help, but their voices were drowned out by the sounds of their pursuer. They could hear its ragged breathing getting closer and closer, until finally it emerged from the darkness. It was a monster. a hulking mass of flesh and fur with razor-sharp claws and teeth like knives. It lunged forward, and the hikers fought back with all their might. But it was no use. The monster was too powerful. One by one, the hikers were torn apart by the monster, their screams echoing through the caves. The monster fed on their flesh and blood, growing stronger with each kill. In the end, only one hiker remained. She managed to escape the caves, but she was forever haunted by the memory of what she had seen. She told the townspeople about the monster, but they didn't believe her. They assumed she was just another outsider trying to cause trouble. She was never seen again.